What's up, guys? Welcome to another, what I guess is now called Hungry Talks, I guess. I like talking about certain topics. Today I actually wanted to go over the effect of coronavirus, potential effect, on Smash Bros. Tournaments. Now, I made this tweet the other day, or yesterday, talking about some idea that I would have to maybe mitigate the effects and sort of make it at least a little safer for people to go to tournaments. If you notice now in media, a lot of large events are being canceled because they don't want mass gatherings of people. This goes from music festivals to esports tournaments to gamer conferences. A lot of stuff in our space is actually getting affected by it because of, sort of common sense. Certain other things aren't getting canceled, so whenever that happens, people are concerned. So if you don't know what it is, if you're living under a rock, coronavirus is, it's been a sickness that's been spreading around for the past few months. It's extremely viral, very contagious. It has about a 2 or 3% for fatality rate, which is what people are scared about. Mainly kills people with pre-existing conditions and the elderly and the very, very young, I believe. So the idea is, for most people my age, if I catch it, it's going to be unpleasant, but very low chance of dying, obviously. However, if I catch it and I give it to someone else, God forbid, an older person in my family or someone else's family, or give it to someone else who then gives it to their grandparents, that's a really dangerous and scary thing. So people are trying to be very precautious right now. And in general, the idea going around is this. The best precaution isn't to just completely mask yourself and hoard all the masks and cover yourself in plastic. It's better to save a lot of this equipment for the medical workers who need it far more than we do. The best thing you can do is just to wash your hands frequently. And when you saw me to touch my face, don't touch your face without washing your hands first. I know in this context, I just finished a stream. I washed my hands before I streamed. I've been inside this room all day, inside my house all day. So, it's kind of a safer environment for me. But if you go out in public, especially, touching railings, touching door handles, touching anything that's in public that you might not know who else has been touching it. I mean, like this, people might not realize this, but when you go on an airplane, the trays that you use, those are never washed, by the way. That's what I'm told. They are never washed. So small things like that, anything in public transport, just be cautious and just wash your hands constantly. And for the love of God, wash your hands after using the bathroom. So a lot of this is common sense. Anyway, it's an epidemic in a lot of countries, approaching pandemic status. And so right now, a lot of governments are trying to figure out what to do with it. I'm, I guess, fortunate because I work from home, I stream from home, and I don't have to really go anywhere if I don't really want to until the whole thing sort of dies out. But that's not the case for everyone. So, the one thing that is unfortunate is that the Smash World Tour got announced right in the middle of this coronavirus sort of outbreak. And I think a lot of the pressing question on a lot of people's mind is, should we still go to these tournaments with this there? And the answer is, it depends. The one way to guarantee that no one catches it is if you're sick, stay the f*** home. I mean that endearingly. If I'm coughing, I have a fever, I'm staying the if you have a cough and a fever right now, and between now and, I don't know, the next 3 months, chances are it's probably best you don't stay. Or probably best that you don't go to an event. So that's just a given for me. But yeah, I said this, along with a gun screening at event, like metal detectors, would it be a good idea to have a medical professional doing basic checks like fever and cough, or providing sanitizer for people at the door? I said it's obviously not perfect, but if even one case is prevented, that would be huge potentially. Because if you could prevent one case, you prevent, I don't know, 300? Think about how close quarters it is at a Smash tournament. Hell, I went to Frostbite, and Frostbite, let's just say it was pretty musty in there. That's all I'm gonna say. Cold venue outside, everyone's warm inside, and it gets musty in there, so I'm surprised I didn't get sick in there. They're apparently doing that for an upcoming Dota 2 tournament. So I had some responses here on people talking about this issue, and I wanted to highlight some of them. Curie, for instance, had an idea of installing a hand washing station, controller and phone cleaning off wipes at the entrance. Guys, your phone, by the way, covered in bacteria. Wash that frequently as well. Screening for fever is probably not as good, obviously. Tierzu, who's had a lot of experience in studying the microscopic world. The virus spreads even when the infected individual is asymptomatic, so fever checks won't really do much. a hand wash station would be best, but it's pretty tough to install at a venue. This right here, if you had to make a tier list, ironically, of a virus, having virality during asymptomatic periods of time is so completely OP for a virus, it's not even funny. It's basically saying, you see me right now, I'm super healthy, we're hanging out, I could be giving you the virus without either of us knowing it, because I don't even know I have it. So it's a massive buff for it. So it's just one of those things. If that's the case, then it's like just really, really important that you just stay precautious, use hand sanitizer, wash your hands constantly, and stay away from people who might be coughing. Just stay away from, honestly, from gatherings of large groups. If this is the case, Smash World Tour is gonna have a really hard time, unfortunately. But there's not much you can do about it. If they can't parry it, let them get killed. Soap, it's a virus. Antibacterial sanitizer will not work. This isn't true. Soap is more effective against both, but hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol will kill the virus. I've heard that you can use both 60% at least hand sanitizer and soap. They're both the recommended things. Melee is sick, of course. Kind of worried about the cost. It's true. J. Ray Zaf the God recommended that we get one of these right here. These are the forehead scanners that you sort of use in Asian hospitals. Not perfect, but modern problems require modern solutions, right? And so those are basically the main concerns. Maybe the cost of hiring a medical professional. Everyone's saying wash your hands is the best thing to do. If you take anything away from this video, if this video saves a single life, wash your fucking hands. I might do a stream where I just wash my hands for 10 seconds for every sub that I get. 1,000 subs, we're getting pruny in this bitch. So that's what I'm saying. And unfortunately in these threads there's some misinformation being spread, yada yada, so on and so forth. If dudes are going to a fever, returning with a fever that's wild, could not be me. So they're saying it's not a good idea. We're talking about a community that's still having trouble to wear deodorant. Here's some good points here, dude. But yeah, in a sense, long story short, and obviously I want you guys to discuss this in the comments. It is scary, but I feel in this situation it's also not a good idea to just flat out panic and act as if the world is ending. It's an unfortunate circumstance. The flus do go around, flus do kill people, but this is much easier to catch than the flu. And while the flu does kill more people per year, it's because I think a lot more people have it. And at this point, if coronavirus was to get to a really stage, a bunch of people could have it, and if everyone in the US caught it, 7 million people would die in the worst modern catastrophe in the history of humanity since the Black Plague, the Spanish flu. Pandemics are a very, very important thing to keep track of. As a smasher, I'm one of the most I've been washing my hands religiously since I was 10 years old, because I saw a video that they showed me in elementary school where it showed you how much bacteria is on your hands, and I'm not Howie Mandel levels, but I'm a super to the T hand washer. I know I rarely get sick because I don't trust anything. Before I eat any meal ever, I wash my hands constantly. And if you don't notice it, have your friend, without telling you, just count the number of times that you touch your face. I might have done it already 4 or 5 times in this video. Just have them count, and you'll see just how frequently you do it. So basically, long story short, if I'm making this a PSA, if you're a TO, it would be great to install some sort of station, or at least have hand sanitizer handy. The issue is the prices for that are being jacked up right now. So just make sure you have easy access to the bathrooms. Wash your hands frequently, guys. If you are feeling sick, stay home. If you're a top player, do your best to not get sick. So definitely wash your hands. And don't spread misinformation, There's a proven way to combat this rationally and effectively. And there's proven ways to combat this irrationally, ineffectively, which just makes a lot of things worse. So remember, not all masks even are good to prevent it. You need to have a certain kind of mask, otherwise certain regular masks, like you know the stylish ones, there's like space ones. There's sometimes like the masks are like a fashion statement. People are trying to use those to stay away from it. Those won't do shit because it just there's no filter there. You still can get sick from those. So in my opinion, it's best to leave those masks, the proper surgical masks, for medical professionals, and it's best to also spread the word. Just be safe. And don't risk a tournament. Don't risk the points. This is advice I give to myself too. Don't risk getting more points in a circuit for making a bad problem already worse. This has been a Hungry Talks PSA on the coronavirus. Wash your hands, for the love of God.